This podcast is brought to you by HEC Paris.
The sustainable business has the sense of purpose, but they tend to forget about performance, right? Therefore, they have to think about agility. They have to think about the way they're going to actually fit with the markets and grow as any other business.
Today is a special day. It's the day of sustainable business. What I wanted to say as an introduction is that today is an important day because it's a day where sense of purpose is the most critical. This is where sustainability stands for. This is where sustainability makes sense for your life. And this is where leadership and sustainability will help you enhance your capacity to understand the global dimension of management and leadership.
I am a big believer in social business, which is for-profit. I have had my personal experiences working in rural areas in India where we're establishing computer kiosks for these villagers to get access to information, get knowledge, and this was an absolutely for-profit business. So I do not think that green economy is not for-profit or is not sustainable. It is absolutely for-profit and totally sustainable.
I suppose nobody knows exactly what happened in '69. The man went on the moon. And the astronauts came back with little pictures, Kodachrome, of the planet. And it was a huge shock. And then everything started then. I remember when I was young, I was reading science fiction, space opera books, and there was the world government and the ecologist in chief. And he was a very, very important person. So the vision of the environment is an essential part of public policy. I mean, it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be part of any decisions, the environment, because it's so important. And so all the question is, how do you mainstream sustainable development in all our institutions? How do we get prime ministers, head of states, to be absolutely convinced to be the stronger proponents of sustainable development? I believe you cannot do anything if you're not really committed and you don't go and you don't think of the others. The fact that we all take care of this planet is going to unify us, which is something which is very exciting. On one hand, you can say these conversations, these international discussions, negotiations are very long, disappointing. It takes a long time to move, even incremental moves. But on the other hand, you can say, well, perhaps it's the most important thing in the world. Perhaps, after all, it's perhaps time for humanity to avoid suicide in one way or another. I mean, you cannot go on sending carbon dioxide all the time. Now you have to think about the next 20 years. I mean, that's the way you have to think. In the next world in 2050, when we're going to be 9 billion and scarce resources, who are going to be the winners of the green race? Because it's also a competition. I mean, you're going to have losers and you're going to have winners. It's better to be part of the winners.
I think it's important to see what the whole picture is, you know, and getting speakers like you know the coordinator for the UN Conference on Sustainable Development is very important because he has this perspective that's not just business, you know, it's all around, and it's business, it's populations, it's the environment, it's where we live, you know, and when you're a business executive, you need to be aware of that stuff and not just aware of the bottom line, not just aware of profits, because sometimes a short-term effect can have a long-term impact.
Let's say, we as a business students, our MBA student and future business leader, we have a great opportunity and a great challenge to demonstrate that sustainability and business do not only, I mean, they are not in contradiction. They can coexist together, but more than that, we have the chance and the challenge to demonstrate that they can benefit from each other.
A company today has to have a strong sense of purpose in order for it to create value in a global economy in order to meet the needs and expectations of its clients, of customers, of the stakeholders. The sense of purpose, and a clear sense of purpose, one that's easy to understand and well communicated and integrated in all parts of the business, is really central and forms the strategy of a business that allows it to think long term. And when we talk about sustainability, we're really talking about long-term vision.
You know, from our perspective, from a sustainable development perspective, it's extremely important. Sodexo is a very decentralised organisation, so for us, the leadership of a country and how they promote sustainable development within country is extremely important.
What we are focusing, and I'm talking about Veolia a little bit now, we are focusing on the reutilization of sewage. And now you get sewage from a city and you burn it or you land spreading it. What we're developing now is ways of producing fertilizer out of that. And fertilizer that's going to be accepted as real fertilizer, calibrated and well accepted by the authorities.
For Sodexo, right from the very beginning of the creation of the company, Pierre Ballon wrote down the mission and the purpose of an organisation, and that is to improve the quality of daily life for the employees and for the clients and all of the stakeholders, but also secondly to improve the socio-economic conditions in the host countries that we operate. So, you know, right from the very beginning of the organisation, that's been at the heart of Sodexo, and it's a very important part of the action that we take around sustainability.
About 1 billion of people are lacking safe drinking water supply. About 2.6 billion of people are lacking sewage treatment and proper sanitation.
As future leader, we need to know about what's behind sustainability and to have some sort of reflex in this field. We cannot ignore what's happening, so it's really important, and that's part of our general leadership skills. So that's why this conference has been brought in this Visions of Leadership Week.
So the energy ratio is going to be very much the same, highly carbon indexed and highly fossil fuel indexed. So what's the best, what are the solutions for the energy landscape?
For consumers, the two main things that seem most important were value for what they're going to get and affordability were two of the key importance for consumers to buy into sustainability.
Should we be pumping trash into the environment? No, I don't think so. And if investors are interested in sustainability or can see the value in reduced short-term profits over the long term, I think you would see a change.
The business practices need to change. I'm not sure they are changing. That's what we are examining today here. We are actually checking if the companies that we receive 60 companies today, we are checking if they really make concrete actions to change, or if it's just communication. But so it's a need to change. I'm not saying we have already changed. We are in the process of changing.
I think sustainability and sense of purpose kind of go hand in hand because sustainability is becoming more important in the corporate world, and so it kind of lends a sense of purpose to these activities that are socially responsible.
There comes a time when humanity discovers energy. Energy in physics has a very simple definition. Energy is something that you see when the state of the world changes. Sustainable development, so far, I have never understood what it is really, because defining the needs of future generations is something that I don't know how to do. We start to take from renewable stocks so fast that the level of these stocks decrease also. For example, the stock of fish that you have in the northern Atlantic Ocean has been divided by 10 since the beginning of the 20th century. And that is because we catch more fish than the natural renewing of the stock. That is what they will have to face. So anything that is able to still give hope, jobs, sense, values, and harmony in a way, in this type of context is valuable. It's not going to be easy.
If you talk about sustainable business, their first and the third thing they think about, their driver, that reason for being is actually the sense of purpose, the why they want to do something. Before they want to do business, they want to change the world, they want to be green, right? So you've got the value and the purpose, which is at the end of the agenda, where traditional business is agility.
Please visit us at www.agc.edu.